I hope you are well. I'm doing a video every day in September. So this video is going to be an unhaul video. As you can see, my shelves are looking quite bare. I've got some spaces. I just got all my books out and I'm only keeping the ones that I'm definitely going to reread that I absolutely loved. And I need to get rid of this whole space at the bottom of my bookshelf. All of that needs to go. So first up we have Diary of a Nobody. I actually got this edition from a charity shop and it's a folio edition and it is the most beautiful book I have ever owned, but it was really boring. So the outside of it, the folio edition, like absolutely stunning. Look at it, stunning, gorgeous. It had little illustrations. It's a man's diary and every day he's just talking about little annoyances that he's got. It's set in Victorian England and I found it boring. It was originally serialised in a newspaper, so every week there was a new piece in the newspaper and it reads very disjointed, but for the time and being in the newspaper I'm sure it was a really fun edition, but put together in a book I just found it really boring. I didn't really get into it. I then have Trying by Emily Phillips. This is about a woman who has decided she wants a baby. She's ready to have a baby. She's had a great career and her partner think it's going to be very easy for them to just try and have this baby, and then they realise that it's not working out for them. It also talks about other women's stories within it, and Emily Phillips did think she was infertile when she wrote this book. She subsequently has gone on to have children, but at the time she did go through a period of infertility, so she used her own story within this as well. And it's just all the disappointment of every month working itself up, thinking you're going to be pregnant and then thinking, what if can I picture my future without having children? That's a really interesting question within it. I thought it was a great book, but I'm not going to reread it. So that's why I'm getting rid of that one. We then have Girl Online by Zoe Sugg, aka YouTube Zoella. I loved this. It's about a girl, she's living in Brighton and she starts a little blog. And then her blog does really well. It's about the tales of that. But if you've ever been to Brighton, I just love Brighton and it's all in it. So the beach, Brighton Beach, and then the fairground, and then she goes to this chocolate shop to have hot chocolates, and it is a chocolate shop that is actually famous in Brighton. Very cozy book. I think she should do this based on this girl, but do a Christmas one. I think it would be so cute. I really liked it. I thought it was really cozy, gorgeous. I know people have a problem because it was ghost written and different stuff, but the book in itself is just a really fun, cozy read. I really did love it, and I think a Christmas edition of this would be absolutely fabulous. We then have a graphic novel. This is Beautiful Darkness. I adored this again, but I'm not going to reread it. So I got this, I think 2016 is when I made the splurge and got this. And it's about all these fairy tale creatures are living inside of something. We don't know what the thing is. And then the thing is revealed slowly. And these fairy tale creatures, everything goes wrong for them. It's a horror. And it's just so well done. It's very disturbing, as you can probably see from the images here. But it's beautifully drawn. It's just a fairy tale gone wrong, very sinister, but there's something just really sad but beautiful within it as well. These creatures are trying to make things work and they're not working, and they're in this impossible situation trying to get everything together. I haven't reread this since I originally read it, so I think I should probably get rid of it. If I haven't reread it since 2016, even though I do like it, that's why I'm getting rid of this book. By the time you see this video, all these books have gone because I'm getting a charity is coming to collect all my books. I then have My Fair Lady. This is the My Fair Lady script, not of the film, not of a famous musical version, just found it in a charity shop. It's a local Amdram theatre. It's their scripts, and someone obviously gave it to a charity shop, and I bought it because I love My Fair Lady. I'm never going to read it, that's why I got rid of it. We then have another graphic novel. This is Giant Days Volume 1. Giant Days is a comic book series. I read Volume 1, and it wasn't for me. It's about a load of college girls living together. They've all got very different personalities. It's a comedy. I just didn't connect to it, so I won't be reading on with that. We then have My Royal Story, Anne Boleyn and Me. So My Royal Story is actually a series, and it's when it's in diary entry form of something historical. So there's one on the Romanovs' Anastasia. There's one of a child who is an evacuee, and it's just all historical but set first person of someone who's living through that time. This is based on a girl who is one of Anne Boleyn's part of her court, and she's talking about Anne Boleyn. I loved it. Oh God, it just got the time so well, and the girl's sneaking around and she's going, oh, Anne's got this religious book. What's this about? Oh, it just connected the time so well, but I haven't reread it. We then have Burial Rites by Hannah Kent. This is a historical fiction. I just remember this being they're ploughing along in the dark, in the dust, trying to get things together. It's not together, just really slogging for me personally. But so many people absolutely adore this book. But for me, I do like historical fiction. I adore Tracy Chevalier. I've read 5 of her books now. Falling Angels, Girl with a Pearl Earring, Virgin Blue, A Single Thread, is it? And I love all the ones that I've read from her. I just didn't connect to that book. We have Doris Lessing's The Fifth Child. This is about a woman who, her 5th child is basically Damien from The Omen. Just a nightmare, and it's talking about that. But I read a short story from Doris Lessing, and it's called To Room 19, and it is the best short story I have ever read. And I've read a lot of short stories because when I was at university, basically like my whole first year was all about that. But I loved that short story. It's just genius. It's fantastic. So that's why I wanted to read something from Doris Lessing. And I read this book and I thought it was all right. I didn't love it. I preferred the short story over this, but I would like to try something else from her because I love To Room 19 so much. We then have Lost and Found by Brooke Davis. It's about a girl who basically, there's a man who's escaped an old people's home, and then she's trying to run away from home and they meet each other. It's just a fun, can you hear my son? He is actually reading the large family books, those picture books. But, well, not reading, he's 10 months. Listen to me, he's reading already at 10 months. But he's just down there looking at the pictures. But this is just a fun, whimsical read. I did enjoy it. I read it on holiday. And I remember just very fond memories of reading it. It's a great holiday read. Sometimes you don't want a serious book, you know, every time for it to be a traumatic read. This was just a fun book. We have Now We Are 60 and a Bit. So there was a poetry collection called Now We Are 60. All these different poems about turning 60 years old. So this is the next book in that series. And it's the poem, I'll Wear Purple When I'm Older. That very famous poem is from the collection. This had gorgeous illustrations in it. I really liked it, but I'm not going to reread it. So that's why I'm getting rid of it. But I do think it was just a really fun book. Fun, kind of like tongue-in-cheek, you know, like smart, witty humour kind of book. And that, look, you can see like there, and Now We Are 60 is the same, just like very fun, sharp wit throughout the book. This is Paris, My Sweet. This is about a woman she's American. She goes to Paris to work, and it's about all the different bakeries that she goes to while she's in Paris. This is also one that I think is based on the author's life. I love the inside. So at the beginning it's got a map of New York City, and then at the back it's got a map of Paris, but a map through all the food places, and then at the back she has a whole list. You can actually visit the places in Paris and New York. They are real places. And it's about this woman trying to navigate Paris and her love life. Oh, it was a gorgeous book. I remember really enjoying this, but it was just kind of a fun read. I wouldn't ever read it again. We have Mummy's Little Girl. This is by Diane Fanning. I actually checked on my channel before filming this video, and my video of it I must have deleted years ago. So this is about the Casey Anthony case. And I just deleted a load of videos randomly off my channel a few years ago. And this must have been one of them because it wasn't very well lit. I remember as soon as I finished reading it, I'd filmed the review. And it wasn't like very good quality, the video itself. But this is a true life crime. As you may know, Casey Anthony was arrested on the murder of her daughter. Her daughter went missing, then was found dead, and she always said that she didn't do it, and a lot of people think she did do it. And this book is such a good book, very unexpected from what I thought it would be on the case, because this is Diane saying she was found not guilty by a jury, and loads of people say, how on earth could a jury find her not guilty? And Diane lays it all out and says there was not enough evidence. It wasn't that the jury maybe thought she was innocent or whatever. They just didn't have beyond reasonable doubt evidence, and Diane lays the whole thing out, and there were bits within it that I didn't know anything about, like Casey Anthony's boyfriend and stuff. Very interesting. We then have The Vegetarian by Han Kang. It's about a woman who says she's going to be vegetarian and her family just don't like that at all, but it's really about control and her trying to take back control of her body. Fantastic read, like absolutely amazing book. I loved it. Harrowing, will never read it again. You know, some books you love, but they're just so harrowing, you're like, I'm not reading that again. I literally, my soul couldn't take it, but it was fabulous. So I'm going to end this video here. I hope you have enjoyed me whittling on about books. I have a lot of books to unhaul, so expect a few more unhaul books this September, because I need to get rid of them all, because I'm trying to sort my house out. So tell me if you have read any of these books that I mentioned here, and I will see you again soon. I'll see you tomorrow for another video.
Fell through the ground.